I am back. Oh, got hair in my mouth. It is a beautiful day. It's supposed to be a high of 80 here today. Can you believe that in February? But it's a beautiful day and the sun is shining, and I haven't been out of the house in a while, so Archer and I are going for a little walk. I'm thinking we'll pop in down here at the senior center because I haven't been there in a couple of months. And who knows, we may go by the park or something to entertain him. So I figured I would take you guys along and catch up. So what else been going on around here? With the new year, my daughter started a new job. She's working for Hertz, but she gets to work from home, which is awesome. However, she has Zoom calls and phone calls and all kinds of things going on, so she pretty much is holding up, let me get that camera adjusted, in her office. So I still have little guys to keep track of. Colin's gone to preschool for most of the day, but Archer is here with me. And my main job is just making sure I keep him quiet enough that he doesn't come through on any of her meetings. So whenever she's got a lot going on, I'm going to try and take him out of the house if I can. And luckily today is pretty enough that I can. I did get my van back. I think I got it back on Christmas Eve. So I'm mobile to be able to go places again, although I wasn't up for going until now. And my wheelchair got fixed. There was water in the motors, which then had rusted some pieces. I don't know what all ended up happening, but so in the process I got new tires and I got new motors. So I am starting off the year pretty good shape, other than my body was not cooperating. But meds have gotten in and I'm functioning again. I'm getting ready, prepping for doing a freezer meal day, which I do periodically, not every month or really even every quarter. But I do try and keep some meals in the freezer, that way they're easy to grab and go. So I'll probably take you along when I'm doing that. I'm also planning out my garden. I've started figuring out what all plants and seeds I need to get. I didn't get to do a garden last spring because I had just moved here and didn't have time to get it all set up and ready for growing season. But I have a couple of raised beds, and I've got a bunch of pots, and I have a green stalk. So I'm hoping to get at least a few tomato plants in, maybe a pepper plant, probably jalapeno, because we like to do salsas and stuff like that. And I saw a video where someone grew potatoes in milk crates, and I do have a bunch of milk crates at my mom's house, so the next time I'm down in the city I may pick those up and try growing potatoes and see if I can do that in the milk crates. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on with me, and hopefully I'll get back in a regular schedule of making videos. Are you talking? Let's see if I can get him in. Archer, will you look? Say hi. He's not talking. Anyway, we'll just enjoy this beautiful day. We're going to talk now. We're coming down here to Church Corner. There's a church on every corner. Methodist Church and the Assembly of God Church. This is the Assembly of God's big youth building. They've got activities there for the kids on Wednesday nights. And then right across the street is the Baptist Church activity building, and they also have the biggest group of kids activities. I think there's more members of the Baptist Church here than anything else. For sure it's the biggest youth group. We are Baptist. However, Jerry did not enjoy the youth group there. He didn't like that big of a group. So we're kind of exploring other churches right now, trying to find him a place where he fits in. He has a friend that goes to the Pentecostal church, so he thought he wanted to try that out. And we'll just say it's really different than the Baptist church. He came home asking why everybody's always yelling. So it was a little bit of a funny moment. And we turn here. Straight ahead is the Senior Center. Transitions from the street to sidewalk are not real smooth. I had to go, in order to get my medication stuff straightened out, I had to go back to Oklahoma City. And I'll just say that in 1 year's time, I've really gotten used to small town life and did not enjoy going back to the big city. The traffic was horrible, people were rude, and everything was waiting in line. I think if I ever have to wait in line here, it might be one person ahead of me at the grocery store, convenience store, or wherever. So I think I am now fully a small town girl. And I'll pick it back up when I come out. Well, that didn't take long. There was nobody here. I guess January is really slow. They don't have very many people getting out, even on the good days. So there were 2 people in there working on a jigsaw puzzle, and that was it. So we're just going to stroll around town and see what we can find to get into. Stroud is a really cute little town, and it's on Route 66, so in the summertime we get a lot of tourists coming through. If you ever watched the movie Cars, it was said to have been based on Stroud, and that the writer spent a great deal of time here and was eating at the Rock Cafe, and so the lady who runs the Rock Cafe is who the character Sally was based on. So the Rock Cafe has been on a lot of TV shows, diners, drive-ins, and dives, and stuff like that. And this is pretty much what it looks like. You'll see the cars, signs out front and everything, and a lot of people stop here just to take pictures in front of the cars. And they sell souvenirs in this little bitty building. So it's probably our biggest claim to fame, I guess. But my grandsons are really into cars, and so we're popping over here real quick so that I can take a picture of Archer in front of the cars sign. Okay, you going over there? Can you go touch it? Go over there. Come on, man, hurry up. You gonna go see the sign? Oh, you don't want to get over there, huh? Okay, we'll head back home then. Right there is Lightning McQueen, and then that's the car, Sally. Now we're heading towards home. One of my favorite parts of living in a small town. Oh, Han, what's wrong? You want over on the sidewalk? He's telling me I need to be on the sidewalk. One of my favorite parts of living in a small town is all the little old houses. Well, not just little, I guess. But they each have their own character. We've got a number of big Victorians around here. Many of the houses in town were built in the 1800s, late 1800s. And so I love going around and looking at the different architecture and the styles of architecture. Like this big house right here, may not look so big on camera, but it's big. And it could be so beautiful with the right paint job. It's kind of a dove gray and peach right now, which I think is kind of boring, but with a Victorian paint palette, it could be beautiful. Same with this one right here. I don't think that's Victorian style. What is that? Probably Empire style? It's kind of adobe too, I'm not sure. But a number of the houses around town, there have been people flipping them, going in and fixing them up. I'd love to see the inside, but of course none of them are wheelchair accessible. This house right here, my daughter and son-in-law looked at buying and with the plan of fixing it up, but ultimately it was going to cost too much to do it. And then 6 months or so after they bought their house, somebody else bought it and did all of this fixing up to it. So they lived in a camper out behind it while they were doing all the work to it. So there's the big Victorian, and then right next to it is just a little bungalow style house that has been fixed up. Let's see, it's still got all the old style windows on the side. One of the houses, and only one that I've seen in all of the town, still has the old carriage stones in front of it. I don't know if you know or have them in your town, but there used to be a carriage stone at the end of the sidewalk out by the street. And it had a place to tie up your horses. See, that one's really cute too. It had a place to tie up your horse, and then the carriage would pull up next to this big stone that you could step on to get up into the carriage so that it wasn't as big a step up. And I think it's so cool that the one house has left it in place. see a bunch of these houses have been fixed up. This one right here, I think, just looks so clean and tidy, but not somewhere that I would probably want to live, aside from the fact that there's all the steps to get into it. I think it's confusing that it has two different doors, one on this side, one over there. It's all one house, it's not a duplex. So I think people would have a hard time understanding which door to go to. And it's got a little detached garage over there, which is too small to put modern day cars in. It was probably originally just for a carriage or something. Sometimes when Jerry and I go for a walk, we'll look at the different houses and talk about if we won the lottery, what would we do to fix up some of these houses. Like, see, that one is tidy. The color's not all that pretty, but with landscaping it can be beautiful. It just is kind of boring right now. This one right here on the corner, this gray one, it is for sale. And I'm not sure why there's a window unit up there, because the listing says it has central heat and air. I'm guessing maybe it doesn't work very good upstairs and the upstairs gets hot. But it's pretty cool on the inside. I'll insert some pictures that show you from the listing. It's got the big huge porch, which I love. I would love to have a house with a big wraparound porch and be able to sit out there in the summertime with some lemonade and wave at the neighbors as they went by. See, it's over on this side too. Not really sure how to make it wheelchair accessible. That one's another that they've done some fixing up to. But there's no two houses in town that look the same. They all have their own little character. So that fussing is because I just turned. Okay, it's okay. I just turned on the street facing towards home, and he's trying to tell me that he doesn't want to go home yet. He likes to go on walks. Now, let me rephrase that. He likes to go on rides because he's standing on the footplate of my wheelchair, and he doesn't want to get off. This house, in addition to having a tornado shelter, it has this big shop back here, which the garage doors for it face the alley, so it is a garage, but it could also be used for a lot of different things. This one right down here is also really pretty. They've been working on it. On the street side, it looks beautiful. They've replaced the siding and painted and done all kinds of work to it. But on the alley side, it still needs a little help. So we have this big one over here too. And it's got a full basement under it. But again, no landscaping. I just think if I had that, I would want some big flower pots or something to make it look a little prettier. That house kind of amuses me because it's got bars on the windows. And we really don't have any crime here in town, so I'm not sure why it needs all the bars. Just on the front side. Because, I mean, really, if someone were going to break in, they wouldn't break in through a front window. They'd go around to the side where it wouldn't be seen. this house right here. I also like the rock. There's a lot of houses around Oklahoma made out of this rock. I think I've seen a few when I lived in Texas too, but I haven't really seen them other places. So there's the middle school, and that right there is our library. It's kind of an Art Deco building. The inside isn't all that impressive, but the outside of the building I think is beautiful. It does have an elevator, and mostly all the library is the top floor, and then the bottom floor I think has meeting rooms and historical artifacts and things like that. But on the back side of the building there is another door, and it has the elevator for people with any mobility issues. There's the football field, which is pretty much across the street from my house. We can sit on our front porch and listen to the football games and everything going on over there. And now we're back home. So I guess we'll go in here and look and see. Do you know what happens when you have to supplement your medications with pain pills while you're waiting for it to get back in your system? Your brain turns to mush. And that's kind of where I'm at. I recorded this part of getting dinner in the crock pot before we left to go on a walk. And it didn't turn out as well as I would like for it to have. So I'm putting this in here, and I'm doing a voiceover because Archer is watching Moana in the other room, and I'm afraid that it's too loud and that the songs would get me in trouble for copyright. So, anyway, I found this recipe on Pinterest, and I thought this looked like a good idea, and I had everything, so I figured I would just get it in the crock pot and get going. It didn't turn out like I wanted it to. So there will not be a picture of the finished product at the end. I followed all the directions, and it said to cube up potatoes and put them in the bottom of the crock pot, and then put your seasonings and all of those things. However, if I had to make this again, and I might because the flavor was good, I probably would not cube up the potatoes. I would either throw them in whole, or I would just quarter them into great big chunks. Because the potatoes overcooked and turned to mush, they may have well been mashed potatoes in the bottom of the pot. And the chicken was all in chunks and basically falling apart. So it really kind of looked like dog food when it was all done. It was good. It tasted good. Everybody ate it. But it just, I don't want to take a picture of it. So I'm just using this video kind of as filler while I talk to you about things that are coming up. I've got a lot of things planned. One of my only real New Year's resolutions is to get better about editing and learning what all CapCut can do and how to make it look a little bit nicer. So I've been watching videos and trying to take notes on how to get different camera angles and just make it look tidier and like I know what I'm doing, even when I don't. So I have coming up, this is the year I get a new wheelchair. In the United States, you can get a new power chair every 5 years. So I thought I would take you with me on the process for that. What they do for evaluation and how they determine what you're eligible for and those type of things. Previously, when I got a chair, Medicare would not pay for the elevated seat, which allowed it to raise up and so you could reach the counter and stuff like that. I have been told that they are now approving it, so I'm hoping to get that in my new wheelchair. And then I will be able to reach the stove and actually cook a little more normal meals. I mean, my Ninjas do a great job, and I can do most everything you want to do on the stove, I can do in the Ninjas. But it would be nice at the grocery store to be able to reach the card scanner, because I always have a hard time reaching high enough for that. And I'm going over to visit some ladies that live in the senior apartments here in town, and I'll show you what the apartments look like. They are a wonderful option for seniors who don't want to go to a nursing home or an assisted living center. You can even, depending on your income limits, I think, have a caregiver that comes to your apartment a few times a week to do things like your laundry and helping with bathing and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I just found out even if you are living with a family member, you could still have a caregiver come to help you with whatever you need help with, bathing or washing your hair or whatever. So I'm going to do a video on that. And then I'm also going to get everything ready for putting in a garden this year, and I'll be doing a video for that. And what else? New wheelchair? Garden set up? Well, I don't remember what all, and I'm not sure where my list went to. Again, too many pain meds mess with your brain. But now that my arthritis medications are built back up in my system, I should be able to stop using those and actually be able to function again. As I'm shopping for my new wheelchair, I'm looking at the different brands, and most likely I will end up with a Jazzy, because that's what I've always had, or almost always. I had one chair that was a Merit, and it broke within the first year of having it. So if you're in a wheelchair, what kind of chair do you have, and would you recommend it? I'm hoping to get a pretty color this time too. The past few times the only options were either blue or red, but in looking online I'm seeing that there are some that are pretty pinks and purples and turquoise and all of those things. So I should know. Well, my appointment's not till March 6th, and then they have to submit it, so probably won't know anything until May or June on what I'm approved for or what I'm not approved for. And then once they approve it, then it usually takes anywhere from 4 to 6 months before you actually receive the chair. It's not a fast process. So that's pretty much everything going in the pot, stirring it around to get all the sauces or spices mixed onto the potatoes. And then we add the chicken on top of that. And I ended up throwing in some corn on the cob for the little guys. And I figured if they're sitting on top of everything else, they're just basically steaming to get cooked all the way through. So Dottie came and threw the chicken in for me. And then basically an hour when you're done, when it's all cooked, you take about a cup of Parmesan cheese and sprinkle it all over the top and let it melt. And then it's ready to eat. So, like I said, it tasted really good, and I would probably do it again, but next time, don't cut the potatoes up so small. And I'll try and get pictures next time when it looks pretty. So that was pretty much my day. That was filmed on February 3rd. It was 80 degrees. Today on February 4th, it's 40 degrees. And tomorrow it's supposed to be back up into the 70s, which means that probably I'm going to end up catching a cold and losing my voice sometime in the near future. because it always seems to do that whenever the temperatures go back and forth, which is very frustrating this time of year. If we're going to be cold, let's just go ahead and be cold. At least I can dress accordingly. So I hope your new year is starting out great, and I should be back to a regular posting schedule and hopefully have, I don't know if I'll have one out on Wheelchair Wednesday. If I do, it'll be late in the evening. But I'm going to get back to Make It Mondays with recipes, Wheelchair Wednesdays with things relating to wheelchairs, and then just a general day in the life type stuff on Saturdays. So have a blessed day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.